what we want to do is to be able to investigate the art of the possible, find out from people what their challenges are. Can we solve that challenge with AI? How easy would it be to solve it?
Yeah, and also break down some barriers to entry as well. If I can build these things as a non-technical person, then I'm pretty confident that means anyone who wants to can. And I think a part of the conversation is about hopefully making the opportunity more accessible to people and giving people a place where they can talk in plain simple English about the problems they want to solve, and we can talk in plain simple English about how we think that might be solvable, and between us as an industry full of incredibly smart people, maybe we can do some really clever stuff together and share those use cases with a wider audience. So yeah, I can't wait to get this out, Paul.
There we go. We're live. Hello, Catherine. How you doing, mate?
Excellent. I'm good. How are you?
I'm hot. You can
You
see the fan
you're
behind me.
yeah, you've got your fan.
Yeah.
And I've gone one step further and decamped to a local hotel with air conditioning because I'm a softie.
Yes. Yeah. Currently in the UK, it is 35 degrees and humid, and us pasty-faced Brits, we don't do that very well, do we? Let's be honest.
We really don't. We really don't.
No.
So while we're kind of trying to bear the heat, we're also talking about AI innovation and wondering whether there's an opportunity to create some video content or kind of live Q&As or discussions or something or others around how people in the visitor attraction and tourism space are using AI to create efficiencies and gains in their business. But am I right in saying that this is like a very early stage conversation and we're figuring out what that might look like?
Yeah, I think we're taking a few very nervous steps forward to try and figure out what we might do, but we haven't really got a complete picture. Um, but I know one of the things I was going to mention to you, we didn't talk about this in any of our prep, but we know from the website survey that Kelly started a few years ago and that I've been running for the last few years. We know that there are a lot of people within the sector have dallied with AI, they've played with it and touched it, but that usually means just using ChatGPT, and nobody
Yeah.
really, only a couple of people in last year's survey were doing anything that I would have classed as kind of transformational for their business. Yeah. So there's this world of what you can do, and there's the reality of what we as a sector are doing at the moment. And I think somewhere in that Venn diagram, we want to establish where the space in between is and see what it looks like, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know from a personal perspective, I've gone from can I edit this photo to make it look sunny rather than rainy 9 months ago to now being able to build quite complex kind of systems and databases and forms and stuff that is well beyond my technical capabilities. But before we get into that, we should probably introduce ourselves, shouldn't we?
We should
Let people
definitely do
know
that.
why we're here.
Why don't you go first? Ladies
You go
first.
first.
Oh,
We're both too nice. Okay, I'm going for it. So I'm Catherine. I help visitor attractions and experiences with their brand proposition, their marketing strategy. So in a nutshell, I help people figure out what's going on in that messy middle bit of their strategy where all of those kind of good ideas and opportunities quite often get buried under the weight of operational expectations and commercial goals and all that good stuff. So a bit of a review into all of the touch points that a customer is judging a visitor attraction on before they buy a ticket. So that's me. Over to you, Paul.
yeah, I'm Paul Marden. I for a long time I was a digital agency owner, and for the last sort of 4 or 5 years, that's been doing a lot of work within the attractions space. Um, I'm a techie at heart, so I spend a lot of time thinking about how attraction marketers can use technology to improve outcomes for their business. I also People might recognize my voice from Skip the Queue. I was, for a very long time, the host of Skip the Queue after my good friend Kelly. So I've spoken to lots of people in the sector about what their challenges are, and it's just a space that I love to be. And so this idea that harebrained idea you came to me with a couple of weeks ago, it just sounds so fun and exciting because it's about the people that I love with the technology that I'm experimenting and learning with myself at the moment. So it sounds like a match made in heaven to me.
Brill. And you're the more kind of technical brain, and I'm the more creative content brain. So between us, I think we can look at this from two really interesting angles, and I think hopefully what we want to do is bring other people into that conversation, don't we, and find out what operators and marketers across the industry are using AI tools for. I've totally fallen in love with Claude, especially Claude Co-work, and that
Really.
could be anything from, oh god, yeah, absolutely obsessed. I went from the free version to the 20 quid a month version to the 100 quid a month version within about 2 weeks, I think. I mean, I have learned so much about how digital innovation works, like things that I never knew existed, like JSON and Markdown files and all those things that actually you kind of do need to understand, because as much as AI takes the heavy lifting out stuff for you, you need to understand how it works as well, what it's doing, where that database now lives, why that code goes here, and that's been a really steep learning curve for me. I've invested so much time over the last 6 months, but I feel like it's starting to pay back now. And I'm really interested to talk to you and talk to a wider audience about some of those use cases and how other people are finding that new knowledge and those new tools are helping them to create efficiencies in their own businesses.
Yeah, I'm working on a project at the moment with an agency, friends of mine for a long time, and it's been really, really educational for me seeing how they use Claude, how they use ChatGPT, and how they have fundamentally, as an agency, repositioned their whole business process to be AI first. Yeah. So
Really?
yeah, and it is not from a perspective of can we reduce our headcount and have just one person doing what used to take 20 people. No, no, no. It's about being able to deliver more, better, get better outcomes, get enable the client to keep up with us in an interesting way. So I've taken a leaf out of that and kind of I'm using Claude to help with my project management strategy. Yeah, somebody new comes to the project, I can say to Claude, look, here's what we understood at the beginning of the project. Here's where we are now. Can you just write a one pager that would introduce this person to the project and tell them where we are right now? And does that take away from the meeting that we should have to onboard? No, not at all. But it means I can
Absolutely
send
not,
them
no.
something. They can then read that, and then we can have a lovely conversation afterwards, and they feel much more involved. I'm using it for planning, testing, writing specifications of what a website should do. There's so much that you can do, which is beyond what most of us started doing last year or maybe the year before, if you were really cutting edge, of write me a press release or write me a blog post. And what came out of ChatGPT then was AI drivel, really, wasn't it? But the world is
Exactly.
so
And
different.
I think you're absolutely right. Like a few months ago, and still now, especially across leisure and hospitality, people are terrified that our jobs are at risk. But actually, the smart organisations, like you say, are using it to scale up and free up human time for human contact. I heard I can't remember which hotel chain it was, but one of the big hotel chains saying using AI in our customer service isn't about reducing human contact, it's about answering the 90% of questions that don't need a human through very smart AI, so that the 10% of questions that do need a human are dealt with a million times better than they used to be. And like you say, I think once you get into using these tools, you realise that there is a huge, infinite number of possibilities. I mean, I will use it for a very simple task like analyse these 10 family day out Facebook groups, tell me which ones are the biggest and which ones are the most engaged, or which ones have the most frequent posting schedule, or what topics people are most frequently posting about. Hours of research work done in 10 minutes, right through to building kind of big integrated commercial dashboards for clients that allow you to kind of slide a scale between different annual visitor numbers and different spend per head at retail or F&B, and model these different things that would take a very expensive data analyst. All of a sudden I can give my clients that added value without any of the stress or extra cost.
I it's
It
fantastic,
does
isn't it?
really blow my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
It's a force multiplier if it's used in the right way. But to be able to get to that point, you do need to understand what it's possible and what it's capable of doing. And I think that's where we're trying to get to, isn't it? This is what we want at this content, whether it video, podcast, whatever the format is going to be, and listeners, we would welcome your input on that. What we want to do is to be able to investigate the art of the possible, find out from people what their challenges are. Can we solve that challenge with AI? How easy would it be to solve it? We might, along the way, share a little bit of knowledge, but I bet you will learn more than we'll share as a result of the journey we go on as well.
Yeah, and also break down some barriers to entry as well. If I can build these things as a non-technical person, then I'm pretty confident that means anyone who wants to can. And I think a part of the conversation is about hopefully making the opportunity more accessible to people, and giving people a place where they can talk in plain simple English about the problems they want to solve, and we can talk in plain simple English about how we think that might be solvable, and between us as an industry full of incredibly smart people, maybe we can do some really clever stuff together and share those use cases with a wider audience. So yeah, I can't wait to get this out, Paul.
Yeah. So the call to action then is tell us what your problems are and come and join us on this journey, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So if we, like, I mean, when this plays out, anyone watching or reading the captions on mute because they're in the office or on the train or something, then leave a comment or message us or do something. Maybe we'll even create a little Claude form for people to submit their interest and submit their problems via, and we can analyse that to our heart's content. But yeah, anyone watching, please do comment and tell us that you think this is a good idea, not a ridiculous idea, because I'm excited, you're excited, Paul, and fingers crossed this is worth engaging other people in.
Awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait. Uh,
Let's see what happens.
Absolutely. I think we should knock it on the head before I melt on camera in front of everybody in a really unattractive way. So thank you, Catherine. It's been awesome.
Yeah, likewise, Paul.
Thank you.